right. So anyway, welcome to season 2, DeDe's Dope Podcast. We had to just up it a little bit, right? We had to up the stakes a little bit and make it more professional. I got the real producer who came from TV. Look at the set. The set is beautiful.
Nice.
And I have great guests like this one right here, who I cannot wait to talk to. He's been in the game, in the radio game, 25 years, right? Been doing it.
So they say.
Yep. The man dominates Atlanta. Ryan Cameron, welcome.
How you doing, DeDe?
I'm all right. Thank you for being the guest, my first guest on season 2.
It's great to be here.
All right, real quick, Ryan, do you have a podcast?
You know, who don't have a podcast? Everybody want to be $1 Million Game, Joe Rogan, blah 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 blah. I have a podcast that's a series that's already done, but it took over a year to complete. We started in September of 22 and just finished last month.
Dang.
It is called Amplify Color.
Really?
It is the history of black radio.
Nice.
From the first tube to the first television to Jack Gibson to WERD to, SCLC and Dr. King, all the way through Charlemagne, Wendy. Just it's everybody. And so.
Okay, wait a minute. And so it took that long?
Because they kept adding stuff on. Because you know how Will Smith's book is? Mm-hmm. He'll say something and then he'll toss to the clip. Well, now they'll have the part in there where say, when Charlemagne is talking to, Kanye, or Kanye's talking to Sway,
then
and he goes, "How, Sway?" And then you play the clip. So after they got the clearances, they kept going back and we had to do pickups, and it just took.
Okay.
It's presented by Warner, but it took forever.
Oh, wait. Let me get this straight. Your podcast is so damn great and unbelievable that you have an unbelievable team of people that are putting this thing together?
They did an all call for people to voice this thing. And, it's like, hey, you wanted the final 3, and, we want you to meet with Warner Music and see if you can do it. And I learned from Jamie Foxx, like, I suck at auditions.
Really? Me
I'm
too.
really bad.
Me
and
too.
so... they said something about, we want to get Kathy Hughes in because we know that she wasn't really in radio, but she was an executive. I was like, hold on, man. I said, Miss Hughes slept on the floor at WOL, and she invented the Quiet Storm, my boy.
You.
And they were kind of like,
yeah.
And then I think that's how I got the gig.
Good, because you knew you had knowledge and you knew radio.
And I checked them. Because,
Yeah.
you don't want somebody that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing worse than being loud and wrong.
Right. But when you talk about radio, you got to honor Kathy Hughes. now.
Always.
I mean, for real.
I mean, they just said that she was in the Forbes magazine. She's the second most wealthiest black woman behind Oprah.
Wow. Good for her. Is that who you work for?
I do.
You do? You work for Radio 1? Urban One?
I'm an independent contractor.
Okay. Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Okay, let's move on. So now you have the podcast. You said it's coming out.
Yeah, Amplify Color. It should be out in September.
Do you like it? Do you like podcasting?
Podcasting versus voiceover stuff versus gaming stuff is totally different. I thought when I first got into it that gaming would be because I always say I want to be in a video game until I got put in a video game. And then I realized I didn't like video games.
Wait a minute. Wait, you got put in a video game. How you get put in a video game?
So NBA 2K, because I was the public address announcer for the Hawks for 20 years.
I remember hearing that, yeah.
And then, the NFL, where they did the pro era game in the virtual reality one. I'm in that one. But it's for the video game, because it's non-union, they don't pay you.
Right.
Like everybody else has to pay you. But imagine if you say, okay, DeDe, I'm going to put you in this video game, and it's 8,000 reads.
First of all, I ain't going to be able to do it.
Over 3 days.
8,000 reads?
8,000.
Oh, no.
The NBA 2K game franchise makes more money than all of the NBA teams combined.
Well, then I'd do it. I would do that. So you did.
I did it, but what I'm saying is when the NBA tries to say something, then 2K be like, look at the numbers. Because the video games, they make so much money. They sold like 2 billion of these games.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Ryan. We just sat down. Let me just tell everybody, I'm calculating. I'm sorry, I'm pocket watching. So we just sat down. You do radio, and you've been doing it for over
91.
20, so a lot of years. Okay, so you do radio.
Mm-hmm.
You also are on. You do voiceover work.
Yeah.
You have a podcast that's coming out that you did with Warner, right?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. Okay, and then you just said the NBA, the 2K, you do the voiceovers for that.
And ballpark DJ.
And ballpark DJ. So you
Can
make
I
a
plug
lot of
ballpark
money.
DJ?
You make a lot of money.
I have 3 buckets.
What do you mean, 3 buckets of money?
No. Yeah. Basically, when I talk to your financial advisor, there's 3 buckets.
Oh, wait. Ryan Cameron, you didn't came up in here and got rich on me. You said what? Your financial advisor too?
Because when you come out of a divorce.
Oh, shoot. And a divorce. She took half?
When you come out of a divorce. Oh, what's all
I know.
all that damn sniggling going on?
Come on, this is good.
They tell you got a bucket that cannot change. An alimony and child support, you cannot mess with that bucket. You have your savings that you try to rebuild, and then you have what my good friend Katie Bowe would call tricking off.
Oh, yeah.
You have a bucket that you can, you know what? Let's go to Vegas for the weekend. And that's how you structure your life. So ballpark DJ is my 3rd bucket because every little kid wants to be introduced like a Major League Baseball player. So now I'll be like, now batting, number 54, DeDe, blah, blah, blah. And the whole team wants that. And then other folks hear it and then they want it. So I made like 50 G's from that last year.
Oh my God.
Just in my bed every morning.
Right. Just in your bed. You could do it from home.
Every morning I wake up and do that. But I'm saying compared to all the other stuff, which is really work, that's the only thing that's kind of like easy. But everything else is really a lot of work, as you know.
Okay, wait. No, wait, because you got me beat. I'm listening. So when we sat down, before we started,
chatting on tape.
Yeah, on tape, exactly. You said, I asked you, I thought you had a wine. You said, no, you had vodka.
Yep.
You still have it?
I had Anastasia vodka. And there was a food scientist and a Russian woman who got married. The food scientist was also a dentist. This is why.
Is this a joke?
No, this is real. So he had this vodka that came together. It was a potato vodka, and it was called Anastasia because when you would drink it, your mouth would get numb, as if like on laughing gas or being numb, right? The problem with it is that you either loved it or you hated it because it was very menthol, tasting. So they took the menthol out. And it still was winning all kinds of awards, had the beautiful bottle.
Right.
And it was selling out all across. The Japanese people were loving it.
Nice.
We're selling pallets and pallets and pallets. And they got divorced. And when they got divorced, the company went like that. There was no more to be made. And we were like, yo, can y'all work this out for the sake of the vodka? And they were like, I hate him. And she was like, I hate her. I hate her. He's like, I hate her. I hate her even worse than she has me.
Oh my God. Okay. So then that was like, it was done.
Forget it.
So here's my question. Ryan, do they do that anymore? Like, think about it. When you got in the game and you got in the business of radio DJs were kind of considered celebs to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
Do you still think that's the same? Does it still hold true today?
I think, and as you know, once people can hear you, but we are the only people that tell people where we are. Like, hey, this Friday I'll be blah, 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 blah. Unlike the news anchors if you just happen to see your favorite news anchor, you're like, oh my God. That's a gift and a curse, I believe, for us, because me and my family have code words based on who is coming up. Because there have been situations, you don't know if somebody's a DeDe fan or a DeDe stalker.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm sure you and your husband should probably have a code word if you're out meeting and greeting, and then you say, you know what, babe, we should go get some pink champagne later on. And he's like, oh, this is a fool.
Right.
You have to let people know, because in radio, we have no idea who that is coming up to us as opposed to television. So it's great to get adulation and pictures, but I always say I'm happy with my level of notoriety. I'm not going to say celebrity because people ask for a picture, but that's about it. Nobody's stopping me from eating.
Right.
Because I was at a meet and greet one time with LL, and he was training for something, and he was eating only lettuce. And we were in a restaurant, and somebody came up and they was like, hey, can I get a picture? And he was like, yeah. And everybody else in the restaurant were waiting for that moment. And then they all swarmed him, and then that was over. And I was like, see, I don't want that.
Do you know, I told somebody a story. This happened a long time ago, right? And I was living in Chicago. Oprah used to do her show there or whatever. She, has this love for Chicago. Anyway, I was in the mall. and I was in a bookstore or something, like looking at something, and I look up, right? I'll never forget it. I look up from the bookstore and it was glass or whatever. And in the mall, I see this lady with a long black dress on. She had a hat on. It was kind of pulled down. She had all these bags, right? And when I'm looking up, I look up and I'm like, and this is me in slow motion. I'm like, oh my God, it's Oprah. Like, I'm really like starstruck, right? I've never been starstruck because we've been doing this so long.
You fanned out.
It's very rare, yeah. So when I see her, I'm like in slow motion, like the world stopped, right? And she's looking at me from under her hat, and she looks up, and she sees my eyes get big, like, oh my God. And this woman looks at me and goes, like, shakes her head like, no, please don't. Please don't say anything. Please don't make a scene. Don't say my name. Don't run out of here, because if I do, that means everybody's going to figure it out.
That's right, you said it
so
off.
Guess what I did? Damn it, I'm going to let this go, but I sure wanted to go get a picture, say something. I mean, it's Oprah, but I let her live.
I was on a trip once, and it was with Ludacris. We were in the Bahamas, and he was my intern. So
that's right.
He took me on a trip to the Bahamas once, and we were at a table, and I'm always looking around, and I said, that's James Gandolfini. That's Tony Soprano. And I was like, that's Robin Williams. So I'm like, it's Robin Williams and it's Tony Soprano. I gotta go say hi.
Right.
And so Chris is like, no. We just gonna send a bottle over there. So they send a bottle, and Robin Williams gets back up, and he comes back and he says, man, thank you, but I'm on the wagon, but I appreciate it.
That was nice.
But it was like, he acknowledged it, but I was like,
ready to go over.
Come on, man. I want to do Mark and Mindy and do Tony Soprano and be all the Goodfellas and everything. And it was like, just calm your ass down, bro. Relax.
So we've learned that now, being around celebs. Who's been the nicest celeb you've ever been around? Can you say it?
Yeah, sure.
Who?
Prince.
Really?
Yeah.
He was nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
We were, another Ludacris story.
Okay.
We go to Las Vegas. And he's like, hey, man, I want to take you somewhere. And I'm like, where? And he's like, I can't tell you. So I said, I'm not just going to go. He said, trust me, you'll regret it if you don't go. So we go, and there's this elevator, and there's a car in it. It's a convertible in the elevator. This is when he was at the Rio Hotel.
Wow.
So we get in the elevator, and we go up, and we get out, and there's this small little room. And then Prince just like in Dave Chappelle, he just comes out of nowhere. It's like, poof. And I don't know how he did it. And he was like, I hope you guys are hungry. And I was like, and I wanted to do my Dave Chappelle. I went, do we have any pancakes? But I was like, oh, I'm going to kick my ass out of here. I better not do that. And so I was really quiet. So we go into this room, and it's Prince, it's Dave Chappelle. I'm going around in my head. Tony Braxton, Gabrielle Union.
Wow.
Hill Harper. Who else was in there? Tony's husband at the time. And one somebody else from Access Hollywood. But anyway, it was a dinner before he got ready to play at the Rio.
Wow.
And so everybody else was so used to it. But I sat right next to him, and I was like, so why you ain't do this? And why you don't do this song anymore? And why you don't do this? But he answered every question that I ever wanted to ask. And then the main thing, even when I go out and I talk to people about the experience of radio, I said, Tony Braxton was like, because she was in Vegas. I remember she had some health issues and had to cancel the whole thing. And she was like, Vegas is expensive. And, they asked me to do all kinds of stuff. And I can't, I'm not doing this no more. And then Prince was like, this is Vegas. They print money. I ain't paying for nothing.
I know that.
And she was like, well, why you didn't tell me? And he was like, you never asked. But it was one of those things where I say, when people do stuff in radio, if I sit around and I watch you fail, but I can say something, that's my fault. But if you think you know everything, and we got all these experience years between us, and you just go out and do it, then that's your fault because you never asked.
That's what I said to somebody. I always say this to people. I know I'm not going to volunteer to help you do. If you think you got it, you go right on ahead. Now, if you ask me for my advice, and if you ask, how did I get here, or what steps did I take, I'm going to tell you. But I'm just not going to arbitrarily walk up to you and tell you, hey, here's how to do it.
Nobody wants to hear that.
No. So let me ask. So let's talk about radio. Radio has changed so much, don't you think?
I agree.
Where do you think it's going to be in 5 years?
I think the same way they were scared about satellite, the same way they were scared about, podcasts, the same fear they had about so many other different things, with streaming. One thing about personality radio, and as well as I do, is that it's instantaneous if something really happens. I think about if right now, if there was a major disaster here, you can go on the radio and let the world know. If you're on a podcast, you can't do that. I think it's one thing, it's live. I remember one time a plane crashed in Atlanta and I saw it on the news and I was like, I know what that is. And I got in my car and drove over. I beat the news there and then
related to your audience.
I did a call in back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's radio. It's like now.
The immediacy of it. And yeah.
It's live.
So you've done every shift in radio?
I have.
Morning radio, let's talk about that, because I just had a conversation with someone and I was saying, you know, a lot of people think that it's easy, number one. Everybody thinks they can do it. Everybody thinks that it's easy to just, you know, all you do is talk. You know, you ever heard that? People say that what we do for a living. All you do is talk. But also doing morning radio requires you to have a sort of, what can I say? You have to learn how to get along with people. It teaches you how to bite your tongue. Have you ever had to bite your tongue?
I feel like, you know, in morning radio, it's like, and people always say, you know, I want to be your co-host. And I remember being on Disney World. My favorite ride is the Tower of Terror. You know, the elevator ride, right? So I'm on the Tower of Terror and we're waiting in the queue. And I'm just cracking jokes. I mean, I'm hot. I mean, everybody's just hysterical. And by the time we get to the actual ride, there's a guy who plays a conductor of the elevator or whatever. And I say something and he looks at me and he goes, I work alone. And he closes the thing. And I was like, oh, I'm using that because I don't want to have to apologize for something you said because you're not following the path of what we've already said we're going to talk about. I got to retract and do this. And I feel like unless I know you, morning radio, you have to say time, temperature, weather, and you can't really clown too much because, he's not serious. Afternoons,
you could do it.
You can do it. You can get more live.
But what about getting along with your producer? You have different cast members on the afternoon. Have you ever gotten into a fight in the studio?
I almost killed. I remember when I was going through my divorce, and
how long were you married? 16
years.
Wow. Okay.
My program director said to me because I was moving out of my house, which was a mistake. They said, don't never move out.
Really?
And, I
ain't never heard that.
Who is it?
Oh, somebody's at the door. Let's get him. Wait, so hold on a second. You were married 16 years and people said, what? You don't move out your house?
You never move out of your house.
Why?
Because that's considered abandonment. You should just go into the other room.
Okay.
Or go down to the other end of the hall. So my program director, he's like, I said, I got to move today. But he had this thing where he wanted us to stay from 10 until noon. And just sit in there and talk about whatever.
To plan for the next day, and you're like, I already planned.
But everybody else is gone.
Right.
So this is me sitting in there like this. I said, I can't. I got to move today. And he's like, no, you got to stay. And I was like, it was one of those, and it was on a stream. So people were watching because the morning show was still on. And they were like, yo, man, I don't know what was going on in there, but you look like you were about to, and I was. It was one of those things like, I don't want to ever be in a situation where you're so micromanaged. The Netflix, Reed Hastings wrote a book and he talks about great leadership. And he says most people want to lead with the branch being the base and then going like this. And, you know, I tell you what to do. I tell you what. He said, but Netflix was like this. It's upside down. The branch is at the top and I trust you. I have to believe that you're not going to run this train off a cliff. And if you believe that, then you go ahead, DeDe, do your thing.
Right.
I trust you.
Right.
You ain't got to go in there every day and well, you know what? I remember asking my program director, I said, who's your favorite comedian? And he couldn't name anybody. I said, what the hell you tell me I ain't funny for then?
Wow.
If you don't have a favorite comedian,
how do you know
how
what's
you gonna
funny?
tell me I ain't funny? You know, the show's not really, well, who do you like?
Right. You don't have anybody.
He didn't like Disney. Who doesn't like Disney World?
Okay.
So we couldn't broadcast at Disney World, ever. And it was always, I don't know why, I don't see the value. So I used to always tell this story. I said, one day, when he was little, his mom said, you know what? We're going to Disney World. And you know, if you go to Disney World, the characters never tell you they're coming.
Right.
They just kind of come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was 50 people in line, and he was number 51. And they got up there, and they was like, okay, Mickey's getting ready to go. And he was like, wait, wait. And Mick was like, I gotta go. And then he was like, man, screw Disney World. I hate Disney forever and ever. Because I'm like, it has to be something traumatic for you
not to like Disney World.
How do you not like Disney World?
I love Disney World.
Come
Look,
on.
hi Disney World. You can be a sponsor on this show if you'd like. I love Disney World. Okay, I used to work for ABC Disney. Okay, wait, real quick. Married 16 years. You moved out. Are you remarried now?
No.
You didn't remarry?
No. I'm in a...
Well, I saw a ring. I see a ring.
I'm in a partnership.
Oh, so you have a ring, but you're in a relationship.
Yes.
How long have you been in this new relationship?
A little over a year.
Oh, how'd y'all meet?
At a real estate convention.
Oh, you're in real estate too?
No.
Oh, you just went? You were hosting?
I was hosting something in the same venue.
And then what, she walked by? Did she have a big old booty or something you saw? You're like, my God.
No, she was just, she's Creole and Mauritian and was on the elevator. And I was like,
dang, she look good.
Yeah, I'm saying. I went in my ATL. Hey, shout. Hey, what's going on, folk? And she was like, what are you talking about? No.
Oh, she has an accent?
She's from Australia.
Oh, nice. Okay, so wait, so you see her and then you guys start talking.
Yeah.
And now you're in a partnership and you have a ring. You guys exchange rings?
She asked me to marry her.
She asked you to marry her?
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
God dang it, there goes the stuff. There it is. All right. This whole podcast is about a woman asking a man to marry because this, wait a minute.
But here's
what
the
did
thing.
She say?
I think and this probably is going to make people upset. American women, and you see why people get so mad about people going to other countries, and they think it's because of servitude, but they don't believe in the whole happy wife, happy life thing. Only American people do that. I think most people believe in happy spouse, happy house.
Right.
I can't make you happy. You can't make me happy.
Come on, Will Smith. Will Smith said that. Everybody got mad. Remember that? What he said about Jada?
Right. I see people, if me and my friend want to go have a beer after work, yo, babe, we're going to get a brew downstairs. More people than not say, man, let me run about a wife. Why? You're just going to get a beer.
Hold on a second. Let me ask. My husband's here. Chris, you have to do that when you ever call me? I'm going to go have it. You'll just tell me, but do you ask? No. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah.
But, I think it's a very, I don't know who started it with the whole, you got to run everything by everybody. But I think, if something is basic, you should be able to do it. And that whole happy wife, I've seen so many people have to run something by somebody. And I'm like, well, we're just getting a drink.
Okay, so hold on a second. So she asked you, you're with her now. How long ago was your divorce?
7.
7 years ago? So you were single for 7, or you had fun for 7 years?
No, I wasn't out there in the streets like that.
Okay.
I mean, I had probably the eye-opening moment was I had a one-day fiance.
Okay. A one-day fiance. Now, where'd you meet her? Why was it only one day?
I tried to use those matching services. Not Tinder and all those.
Which ones you get
This
on?
was...
One of the rich ones where you had to have a certain... I seen that on the plane long time ago.
Yeah, you had to pay the money.
Yep.
And they was like, you know what? We need you to help us with our brand. So I didn't pay any money.
Oh.
So everybody was either crazy or liars. And so they said, we got one more girl for you. And I mean, it was...
She was good?
It was magical.
And what happened?
Laughed. So I said, I'm going to go old-fashioned. I'm going to go fly down to where her mother lives in Florida. I took a flight down. I drove like an hour. Told her mother, hey, I want to marry this woman. She said, oh my God, thank you so much. So she accepted, And so I go back home and I propose. And she says, okay, yes. And for one day, we were like on cloud 9. She was like, oh, did I wake up? Am I getting married? And I was like, yes, you are. And then like day 2, she sent that text that every black man hates to see. We need to talk.
Why?
Talk about what? I'll talk to you later. She didn't like the ring.
Stop the show. Stop. What was wrong with it? What did you get her? What was it? A nice big carat, 2 carat, 1 carat, 3? What did you get her?
It was not. It was a vintage ring. It was pretty huge stone with diamonds but she said, instead of saying, I don't like the ring, she tried to make our love equal what the ring was. And
you saw that.
And she was like, if you don't have this kind of love for me and you didn't do this, then da-da-da-da, and our love is a whatever. And I was like, word? It's about the ring? And she was like, it is about the ring. And I was like, okay. And so for about maybe another 3 weeks, we went back and forth, and there was no
And you said bye.
There was no meeting.
Yeah.
And then later on, she would like send me a DM. She said, because I'm not a blocker, but I had to block her and stuff because it was just crazy. And she started DMing my dog.
Oh, damn. DMing your dog?
Yeah, because my dog has a page.
Get out of here. Ryan, your dog does not have a page. Why does
Maximus Lickamus.
Why does your Maximus Lickamus?
He's a giant
Sounds like
schnauzer.
somebody I dated.
Chris, you better get in here.
Look at my husband.
No, but, because he's a giant schnauzer and,
I dated him too, but go ahead. He had a giant. No, I married him. Look, I married him.
Look, moonwalk.
Okay, but go ahead.
And so she DM'd him, was like, tell your owner that I miss him, or I hope your owner wants to go out for coffee. And I was like, listen, lady, you tripping now.
Okay, so let's get past those ladies. So you were married for 16 years, and why did you break it? Did you cheat?
No, that's not
you didn't
why we
cheat.
broke up.
Good. You're not a cheater?
I don't cheat.
Come on, let's be
Black
Ryan.
men don't cheat.
Oh, now,
Black men don't cheat.
Now look, as a black woman, black men will lie.
Black men don't cheat.
Black men will lie. We're gonna have a standstill.
Listen. You know who looks exactly like my ex-wife?
Who?
Your producer.
Nicole?
So much so that she gets stopped every day and ask if she's my ex-wife. Ask her.
Wow. Really? People always tell you
every day. So walking in here, I'm like, well, she's cute. Because
not fair.
All right. Ryan, wait, hold on. Let's talk about this though. And you have kids together, right? You and your wife?
I have 3 total, but 2 with her.
Okay. All right. Has it been tough?
But see, here's the thing. Marrying, I was not even engaged. We weren't even seeing each other when I proposed.
You weren't?
Through the miracle of therapy, you learn about these things.
And what did you learn?
That you can't be trying to love somebody because you don't want somebody else to love them.
Oh, so you got with her because you thought somebody else would get her, and so you were just trying to keep her from going with somebody else.
Right.
And I've often heard that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did. And so we got married in 2000. First baby was in 2001, before our anniversary. The second baby was in 2003.
Oh, y'all.
So there was no honeymoon phase.
Y'all accelerated that.
And you know what? But again, there's no blueprint to marriage.
What about now? You're with the partner you have who proposed to you.
Yeah.
Do you guys have kids or does she have kids?
No.
There's no kids.
No.
And the relationship is good?
It's great.
Can I tell you why I say that? My husband and I have been married, it'll be 13 years.
Yeah.
We have no kids. And everybody always says to us, we're always out, we're traveling, we're this, and everybody always asks, what is the secret? And I always wonder if it is that, because we're not arguing. Because let me tell you why. He likes to play golf, and I tell people, he plays golf on the weekends. And see, I would be mad as a mom, because I'd be at home with that baby. He's out on the golf course. I took that baby in the car seat, set it down on, what is that called? What do y'all play? Aisle 19, whatever the hell it's called. What is that called when they be playing golf? What is it called, Chris?
18 holes.
There it is. So wait, how long you been playing golf?
My ex-wife got me a lesson because, like some fool, I volunteered for a celebrity golf tournament.
And didn't know how to play.
And she was like, you ain't going to embarrass me.
So now you're good? Are you really good at it? You love it?
I'm deadly.
They say it's addictive.
I'm deadly from like 120 in, and I'm a great on the greens. But off the driver, I've killed a couple of animals, but I'm,
all right. So did you get into golf? Oh, you said you did it for that, because I have to say, shouts out to Tiger Woods, because when Tiger Woods started playing, black folks was like, we could go play golf.
Right.
All the black men started playing golf.
Yeah.
Real quick, let's talk. Somebody told me that, and I think I remember this. You had a health issue.
Yeah.
What happened?
I actually got sepsis.
That's
all the way to like septic shock. And was actually doing basketball games for the Hawks in full, had full sepsis because I didn't know or recognize the symptoms.
And what was going on? What was
chills? Sepsis is distinct. Madonna just got out over sepsis. I believe that Fox might have had sepsis.
You think that's what Jamie Foxx had?
I sent Fox a message.
You can tell all the celebs and stuff, because you like to call them with their nicknames.
Well, we started doing comedy together. We got started,
Ryan Cameron, god dang it, you're interesting as hell. I could sit here and talk to you for about 3 goddamn days. You didn't had I don't know how many damn lives.
Me and Fox started at the Comedy Act Theater.
Damn.
And I said to him, I sent a text and I said, when I saw your video, which everybody had a reaction to, I said, I saw a man who didn't realize that he could have died. And he came out of the video, and I said, you realize now that you might have taken life for granted. And I said, and now you realize that you have to live life differently because there's some things that you didn't know, and if you would have died, you wouldn't have known it. And he sent me a voice message back, and he said, I had tears in my eyes listening to that because that's exactly what happened. And he says, I'll sit down and I'll tell you all about it. And I did, you know, as radio broadcasters, the first thing you want to do, and if you had a producer, they'd be like, man, you got to play that on air. You got to play that on air. But you can't do that because that's kind of what got him in trouble, because he's talking about fake friends and they killed Jesus and it got all that stuff. But I'm like, it would be great content. It would probably go viral because he hasn't talked to anybody. But I'm saying, like,
that's your friend,
he's
though,
trusting me by sending me this message. And of course, I kept it because I sometimes refer to it, but I would never play it on the radio. But I think the thing about, you know, and I said this before, the thing about death is that we all have this fear of it, but we're never going to escape it, right? But coming through this and coming through a health scare and not knowing that I could have passed away and then being on the other side of it, I have no fear of it because I wouldn't have known. So I think it's the fear of the unknown is what gets everybody. Like, I had a conversation with my insurance agent the other day, and he was like, you said that you wanted to be buried in the mausoleum. You did not want to. No, this is you said you did not want to be, and he's a white man. I hate that I'm doing this voice like that, but it's funny.
Yeah.
You said that you wanted to be above ground in the crypt. Is that correct? And I was like, yes. He said, but what if your family does not have the means to do it? I said, well, change the policy and make sure you take that money out because I do not want to be in the ground. And they were like, we gonna send this paper over and you sign it. Because I'm like,
why don't you want to be in the ground?
Because I just don't want because I have trauma from my grandfather.
Why?
My grandfather was one of those people who was like, you know, he was like, I don't care what happened, y'all ain't gonna be looking down at me, right? And then when he died, he didn't have no will, and there we were.
Y'all looking down at him.
I was like, damn, man, so wait, you should have wrote this down.
Ryan, you don't want to be cremated? A lot of people are doing that nowadays. Why not?
Because it's cheap.
Yeah, but why don't you want to be cremated? You want to just...
I'm going to invest in a cremation place.
Okay.
Because I want the money. I want people to do that. But I don't want to, you know, because it's almost like when a person dies and they wore glasses, do they get buried with their glasses on?
No, they just going to go in heaven knocking things over because they can't see.
Do you get buried with your glasses on? It's like, what if I get that KC?
I know it.
Or what if they want contacts? Do you leave the contacts in? I don't know.
But if you go to hell, them things are going to burn in your eyes too anyway.
Listen.
Because we all assume everybody going to heaven. There's some people I didn't met in life. Hold on a second. There are some people I didn't met in life and some I've encountered that I wish would go to hell. So I'm just saying there are some going, right?
I will not say this name, but while I was in my coma, I had this vivid dream. And, you know, when you go back through your medical history, it tells you what medicines you have a great reaction to or not. And it was like, do not give him this because he has very vivid hallucinations, right? And so I saw somebody, and I'm not going to say their name. They was like, yeah, maybe you were in the middle between heaven and hell. Maybe you were in purgatory. And I said to her, I said, well, you were there.
Yeah. So she was in there with whoever was with you?
Yeah. I said, because you were there and you were dressed as a nurse.
Oh, Lord.
And the look on their face, it was like, because only 3 people I remember, but she was one of them.
You were in a coma?
Oh, yeah.
So how long were you in a coma?
I was in a coma for 3 days.
And what happened in that coma? Could you hear I've never met anybody who was in a coma. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Me, Tracy Morgan, probably Fox. But I'm saying...
What did you hear? Did you hear when you were in a coma?
No. The coma was... I imagine your whole life unraveling in such a vivid time that it's so real that it can't be a dream. And I was just like...
What do you mean? Like, so you're when you're in a coma, because everybody assumes you hear everything that's going around.
No.
You don't hear anything?
No. I can tell you more about what happened when I came out.
You're asleep, though. You don't know anything in that coma.
Because it was
you don't remember nothing.
It was a medically induced coma.
Okay.
Because with sepsis, it attacked everything.
All your organs.
I had a collapsed lung. I had blood clots. I had all kinds of stuff going on. And I remember I had to have dialysis for like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And when they took out the dialysis port, remember, I want people to understand, when I was going through this, it was the heart of the pandemic.
Oh, shoot.
So this is March. April.
2020?
The whole world is shut down. So there ain't nobody holding my hand. My mama ain't coming in. And you know,
but you're there by yourself.
I'm just in the hospital with the nurse. So when I come out of the coma, I'm in St. Joseph's, which is, you know, a religious hospital. And I'm awake, but I done had this crazy dream. And the nurse is talking to me, and she's like, you know, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And I'm like, you know, say the Lord's Prayer, or I'm going to rip all these tubes out. Because my dream was very, very evil.
In those 3 days.
Evil.
It was evil.
Evil.
You saw the devil?
No, it wasn't like that. But it was like, the one thing I remember is like all these people in the room, maybe 100 people, and their life is playing before them on like a
There
video.
really is true. Wait. Because they say this, that when you die, you know, your life will flash before your eyes almost, right?
But,
so you were in a coma and you saw your life?
No. I'm in this room, and your life is playing, and there's a moment in your life where you have to make a decision, and you have to pick. And if you choose the wrong thing, all hell breaks loose, and somebody either dies or gets killed, and then it's the next person's turn. And you got to sit there and wait until your turn comes. That's what it was like. I remember that like it was yesterday in this particular moment.
And you watched everybody else's life.
You got to watch everybody else's life and then wait till your turn.
When it got to yours, what did you see?
I saw somebody who, when I woke up, I was like, there's no way this person is going to do these things to me. And they did it. They did it.
The person, okay.
They did what I never thought they would do, because I thought we had such a great relationship that it would never unravel the way it did in this space. And it actually happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Like, so it's changed. So that experience changed how, I take it, you deal with people, the decisions you make. I mean, I'm assuming, right? It's changed a lot.
I just don't get angry.
You don't?
About anything,
Why
you know,
not?
because I didn't feel like, you know, when I have a dilemma with somebody, and they're always like, wow, you're so calm. I'm like, I was in a coma. Like, I didn't know. I woke up one time and the priest was in my room, and it didn't hit me till late. And I was like, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? I like, why is the priest in here? And then later on, I was like, you know why the priest was in there, right? Because they didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Last rites or something like that.
Yeah, so
doing?
Because again, I was in, you know, in a religious hospital, and I remember one time the lady wanted to take me out to get some air. She's like, I'm gonna take you for, because I had to learn how to walk again.
Damn.
I couldn't walk, and so a good day was me climbing 2 steps.
Right. Damn.
And so when people look at me now, they go, man, how you feel? I was like, dude, I couldn't walk, and they had a little white belt. If anybody they would cool you up, you know, and strap you around. And I remember one day I was going to try to prove to the nurse that I could, you know, go to the bathroom by myself. And they have, the worst thing that can happen in the hospital is somebody fall. You're going to get sued.
This is so interesting. Okay, I'll tell you, I could talk to you all day. I know you have a foundation, everything else,
Yes.
and they're telling me I got 5 minutes. I love to do this. You know, what makes Ryan Cameron so dope? Tell me, it's like you get to plug or do whatever. What makes Ryan Cameron so dope?
I don't know if it's, I think, you know, my foundation is for the kid that was in the middle. You know, when you go speak to people, there's always a person in the front row who knows all the answers. There's the people in the back who don't give a damn. But there's the people in the middle that are kind of, I don't know. And my foundation, my leadership academy, is for people who are undecided, because college is not for everybody. You know, right now, if all this power went out, somebody who probably went to heating, electrical, a trade school would have to come in here and fix this stuff. And we try to mold ourselves to be something for everybody, right? And with the father-daughter dance, which is, my daughter's 25 now. It started when she was 4.
Wow, you started that when she was 4? That's great.
So that is like for dads and daughters who have a great relationship.
Oh, don't rub it in. I don't have a dad. Keep going.
But to the point.
I never got to do that.
But because there are women who understand that and who've been in your situation, also who now volunteer to come and see what it's like, because I think for a lot of us, the dads are your confidant, the first guy that the girls fall in love with.
Trust me, I know.
You know, and so this whole thing, we've had people who have actually come out of jail the day of the dance, and they meet sometimes for the first time, their children.
Yeah.
And it's 600 folks, and you know, RyanCameronFoundation.org. Please go on and and see what's going on and see what we're doing.
Ryan, do you do anything for women like me, girls like me who didn't have a dad? Do we get to dance with you later? Like, I didn't have a dad. Ryan, could you be my dad today and we can dance? Like, I'm just...
You want to come and just dance with random people?
Yeah, I want to find a dad
Random
out there.
dads.
So, I want to see what that's like.
That's
I want
the
to
next
dance.
event.
Yeah, I want to dance with my dad. Do I put my feet on top of his and he moves me like that?
That's what they do.
Okay, good.
And it's a sneaker ball.
Good, I'm coming.
Yes.
I'm coming to your next one, and I'm going to find
It's always on Father's Day because dads never have any... People say, why do you have it on Father's Day? Because nobody ever has any plans for us.
They don't.
If you call Mother's Day, you better have flowers. Y'all better be going somewhere, and you better call. But on Father's Day, be like, hey, is Dad there? Yeah, he there. Hey, Dad, pick up.
Tell him happy...
Hello? Hey, Daddy. Hey, happy Father's Day. Thank you. Okay, Mama now? and it's over. So that's why we always have us on Father's Day, because no one has any plans for us.
No, they don't.
No.
Sorry to hear that, fellas. All right, end of the story, end of the show.
It is what it is.
I don't have anything else to say about that one, other than I really want to come. I think that's so awesome. So you said it's the RyanCameronFoundation.org.
Yes.
.org. Everybody make
Always
sure.
on Father's Day.
Always on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Let them know you're on the radio. Give them plug. Let's plug right now.
Yes.
Let's do that 15-second plug.
If you're listening, you know, you can go to Ryan Cameron Uncensored and find the stations we're on. And, you know, we're in a couple of different markets right now, middays and afternoons. So we're very happy to be.
I know it because you're doing the whole syndication thing too, huh?
And I'm so, you know, this is like the first time we've ever had a chance to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I've just always been a fan.
Really? Of mine?
Yeah. Because, I mean, so many people want to have the reins, but like, yeah, if I had this, I'll do this. But because of the way that you came into it, people didn't know if you was going to be able to do what you did, and you did it. And I always want to say, you know, people, I hate flowers.
Yeah.
Give them this flower. I like Raisinets.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a Raisinets.
Thank you. I love those.
Give you a Raisinets now, because I'm sure that you might have even said, all right, now what am I going to do? And then you did it.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
No, I thank you. I'll just say this. And for everybody listening, if you don't know, again, I have a national radio show, DeDe In The Morning now. We're in 80 cities now. Shouts out to Compass Media and Service Broadcasting. But honestly, Doug Banks was the greatest teacher I ever... Yeah. I was blessed to work with and to witness Tom Joyner when he made his rise and took ownership and created Reach Media. So I used to watch him every single day. We walked into the same building. We didn't work together, but I would just watch him. I watched the cars he drove. I watched how he dressed, what he walked in with, I would ask him questions. Tom Joyner, I mean, come on. You couldn't be walking into the same building with one of the greats in the business, right? And same thing with Doug Banks. I got the same thing. That's you. You're up there with them. You know that, right?
I don't, because this was funny, right? There was a time when they were like, you know what, Ryan, we're thinking about syndication for you. And I was like, oh. And we were meeting.
I think you did. You did ABC, didn't you? Or in the ABC?
It was like a secret meeting on a golf course. And I went home and I woke my wife up in the middle of the night. And I was like, it's going to happen. And then she was like, eh.
She didn't even understand. That's huge.
But it did not happen. And so it was one of those things where even now, when it finally happened, I think LL says in his book, dreams don't have deadlines. And I think that is the case in this, because everybody who's on the radio was guest on my show. There's not any male other than Joyner who did not start as a guest on my show. So I always go back and go, it's coming. And
Isn't that something? Well, thank you for everything. Thank you for being on my podcast. You know,
thanks for the invitation.
Thank you. It's so good to talk to you. You're really interesting and funny. You have a book?
I have a trilogy coming.
Okay.
After reading the Will Smith book, it's 30 years, because one decade deals with the whole Freaknik era and me working at night. And I was on from 6 to 9. And so the only people who had my day part was waitresses and strippers.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, that was cool. It was like, yeah.
You should write a book. I mean, I could just hear a book.
It's three, and then there's a second part of the 20 years, and then there's a third part, which includes, you know, all the other stuff, because it can't be one book.
By the way, I love the fact that you do a lot of reading. Leaders are readers, everybody. I just want you to know, I always say that. It really is important, and a lot of people are getting away from reading, and it's very, very important.
And try Audible if you can't do nothing else.
If you can't do that. My husband does the Audible. All right, well, thank you, Ryan Cameron. Look, a studio guest, clap it up for Mr. Ryan Cameron. That's great. This has been unbelievable. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, listen, you know, you can always catch DeDe's Dope Podcast every week. You can find it on everything, Spotify, whoever else. Okay, bye-bye. Talk to you next time. That's my close.
Wake up every day, put a smile